evening, I'm Rachael Wilson here on the Lily News Network. Today we have a special segment on alliances both ancient and recent. With us is a BBC correspondent in Paris, Lucy Baldwin. She is going to be talking with us today about the French and U.S. alliance. Let's take it over to her now.
Hello Rachel, I'm so happy to have travelled here to France today to talk to you about the US-French alliance.
Lucy, can you tell us a little more about the U.S.-French alliance?
Of course! Did you know that France is the 9th largest merchandise trading partner for the US and the 6th largest for trade and services?
No, I didn't know that. Sounds like the French are helping out the U.S. economy quite a bit.
Yes, France is also the 5th largest foreign investor in the US. French importers are especially interested in US goods such as industrial chemicals, aircraft engines, electronic components, telecommunications, computer software, analytical and scientific instrumentation, medical instruments and supplies, broadcasting equipment, programming, and franchising.
Interesting. U.S. agricultural exports to France consist primarily of soybeans and products, feeds and foders, seafood, consumer-oriented products, and snack foods and nuts. French agriculture coming into the U.S. consists mainly of cheese, processed products, and wine. They amount to about $3.327 billion every year. In 2005, the United States was the #1 investor in France, with a share of 18%. So let's not all be thinking that this alliance is one-sided. Also in 2005, U.S. imports from France totaled at $26.4 billion, and the U.S.'s imports to France were valued at $25.3 billion. The next year, U.S.-French trade in goods and services totaled $91.6 billion. It seems like our relationship is pretty well balanced.
I agree. Also, France is America's 10th ranked supplier worldwide, its 10th client, and the US is France's 6th ranked client and its 3rd supplier.
It seems that so far we've only discussed the economic side of this relationship, but there's actually a lot more. For instance, France is a great troop supplier to NATO. In 2007, the US president backed France's commitment to complete NATO's mission in Afghanistan, where 1,900 French soldiers are stationed. France also supports the U.S. against the fight for the war on terror. France and the U.S. work together to monitor and stop terrorist groups. Also, France has complied to U.S. requests for terrorist-related information under the Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty.
Wow, it's a good thing you have those cue cards, but how did this relationship come to be?
It started during the Revolutionary War. General George Washington needed supplies and more soldiers that the United States wasn't providing. Congress finally turned to French aid after the Saratoga battle. The French foreign minister met with Benjamin Franklin to devise a plan of action. Do you have anything else to add, Lucy?
You seem to know your history. I would just like to add that in 1778, France joined the war by signing the Treaty of Commerce and Friendship with America.
Ah yes, thank you, Lucy. Now let's look at ancient Roman alliances to see how foreign relationships have progressed through the years. Now Rome's rule over Egypt officially began when Octavian, later called Augustus, claimed the throne in 30 BC, following his defeat of Mark Antony and Cleopatra in the battle at Actium. He took over the country as his personal estate. Rome was very militant toward Egypt and appointed a governor for a short term, which effectively depoliticized the country. Now, Lucy will discuss the business transactions between the two.
All business was transacted according to the principles and procedures of Roman law. Egypt functioned in the Mediterranean world as a prosperous Roman province. Egypt's wealth was most commonly agricultural, with its grain supplying the city of Rome. They produced papyrus, glass, and various other arts that were exported to Rome. Its deserts yielded a variety of minerals, ores, and fine stones, such as porphyry and granite, which were used for architecture and sculpting.
Thank you, Lucy. Conquering Egypt also opened trade for Rome with Central Africa, the Arabian Peninsula, and India. Obelisks and Egyptian-style architecture and sculpture were also brought to Rome. Additionally, textile manufacturing, especially clothing, seemed to have an important industry.
Rome did not necessarily want to take over Egypt only for expansion. They also wanted to tap into Egyptian goods and trading routes to further boost their own economy. Rome never tried to change Egyptian culture. They even used some Egyptian culture in their own cities.
Yes, that's true. That is similar to the US-French relationship, where neither one is trying to change the other country or expand their own empire. They are simply using the other country to make up for what they don't have. Thank you for joining us today, Lucy.
From the BBC office in Paris, this is Lucy signing off. Cheerio!
This has been a great segment on alliances. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of everyone on the LNN staff, good night.